Hello? Hello? Oh boy. I'm kind of sorry. I promised Miss Pengrino I'd check this place out before we recorded. I'm just a little spooked by it. Oh boy. I'm sure it's fine. It's fine. It's good. Yeah. It's fine. No worries. It's all good. That's all the intro I have. So if you Scary!
You are.
Scary! Grinning ghosts come out to socialize. Ha!
Wait! I should warn you before you step inside the house. This could change the course of your entire life.
I'm not afraid of a couple ghosts.
You say that now.
Welcome, foolish mortals, to a very spooky episode of You Start.
Get.
Haha, not so fast, eager McBeaver.
Do it again.
Get.
Oh, I heard you. I heard you.
Flames on the side of my face.
It's fine.
Get your ass out of here or say real. Come on. Get.
Real. Because it's spooky, Miss Pengrino.
Too much.
No, it's spooky in here because we're in a haunted mansion. It's all spooky and scary. In fact, I saw this sign before we started the show. We got to look out for this scary monster. Look at this. Look at this thing's terrifying. Apparently this is somewhere in this house. So we have to be very careful as we do this show. This time, that monster could be anywhere.
Anywhere.
Grinning ghosts come out to socialize.
Oh, somebody kill me, please!
You've heard of Christmas in July, but Halloween in August?
Yeah.
What
for
about?
Most people, actually.
Well, that's true. A lot of people actually start setting up this time.
It's normal.
They don't really care. For a lot of people, every day is Halloween. They don't even really care, do they? Yeah, exactly. But
if it could be, it would be.
that's right. But we're kind of treating this as our Halloween episode because we are discussing the Haunted Mansion, the new. Well, actually, it's just called Haunted Mansion, not the Haunted Mansion. They if you can tell by the hat.
Okay.
Stop it!
If you can tell by the hat, it's just Haunted Mansion. That's what they call the movie. And I wanna preface this. I'll just go ahead and say I did enjoy the movie, but I'm not wearing this hat because I'm like some sort of ridiculous uber fan of the movie. I'm just an uber fan of the attraction. If you're a Disney fan, if you're a Disney Parks fan at all, the top tier ride you're going to have on your list is the Haunted Mansion. It is the most beloved ride. It's the most fun. Well, it's not maybe not the most fun ride, but it's a fun experience to do.
I have a part of the ride.
You have a part of the ride. Here's a picture of it, or video, or whatever I'm going to take of it. Here it is. Yeah, that little duck from, and that's from the Christmas Nightmare Before Christmas edition of it.
So
yeah.
when they turned it into the Nightmare Before Christmas,
Which they do at the holiday time.
which they do at holiday time, this was a part of the ride, and then once it was like taken away, discontinued for the moment, they put this piece for sale in the like Disney. In Florida, there's like this Disney warehouse of like things, basically a Disney grave of rides and all these other things, and I got it.
They auctioned it off, and you were the lucky winner of the duck from the Nightmare Before Christmas.
He was a little pricey, but I loved him.
Hey, you know, you can't put a price on history.
Well, they did.
They tried.
Yeah.
Hey.
To be honest, they wanted much more, but we bargained them down.
Oh, good. Well, that's
Yeah,
good.
so.
Well, anyway, unfortunately the duck wasn't in this movie because it's not Nightmare Before Christmas.
Right.
But it is the Haunted Mansion. Miss Pengrino, what did you think of Haunted Mansion?
I loved it.
Yeah? Yeah?
I loved it. I loved it.
Like we're not
Loved
even
it,
we're not
loved
even
it.
gonna play around here. You just loved
No,
it.
I was great. The Haunted Mansion version, like the original, I guess you could
Eddie
say.
Murphy. The Eddie Murphy
Murphy's
version. Yeah. Mhm.
Not a huge fan.
Really? Not even a little bit.
I mean, it was okay.
Not even a titter. Touch titters.
That's in poor taste.
It's not that I disliked it. It was just more cartoony, and I guess that was kind of like the vibe of the time.
That's what they were going for with
Yeah,
that one.
yeah.
Because I mean, because when you look at the Haunted Mansion, it is the ride. It is cartoony.
It is.
It's somewhat spooky, but it's mostly cartoony, and
Yeah.
so yeah, and so that's what they thought that was the best route to go, was to make it a straight up kids movie where it was silly spooky, not real scary spooky.
Boo.
Ah!
Surprise, motherfucker.
This one, however, and I know it's because at this point live action is very big.
Well, that was a live action movie.
Can I finish a statement?
Do you want me to leave?
Can I finish a statement?
Do you want me to leave?
Yes.
Yes.
It flames.
Girl, just get over it.
Pick out two.
No.
Oh my god, I don't care!
There were no really cartoony parts in this. The ghost didn't look cartoony. The Hatbox Ghost, a little.
They CGI'd him a little too much.
He was a little too CGI.
He wasn't practical.
Grant you, I mean, he's the Hatbox Ghost. So, but like the other ghosts, like legit, were people. People
Yeah.
in costumes, but people nonetheless. And I appreciated that, I think, a little more than I did the cartoony version.
Yeah.
I liked it. It felt more real.
And I agree. I didn't hate the Eddie Murphy version. I think it was.
I didn't hate it either.
It was fine for what it was. I get what they were trying to go for. It just didn't vibe, because the thing about it is that was during that time when it was like, oh, the Pirates of the Caribbean movie was a huge hit. Let's make a movie out of all of our rides. So let's try Haunted Mansion next.
Let's go for this one.
And,
how about this one?
And I don't think they didn't really know how to do it. It was still way too fresh for them. It was still way too new to really understand how that works and what the dynamics involved in making a movie based upon an attraction really entailed. So they did what they thought was right, but yeah, it came out as silly more than anything else. It was, the attempt was even looked at as silly. Yeah. So, you know, that's why, and well, not only that, it also kind of stagnated poor Eddie Murphy's career for a few years. He didn't do a movie for like 3 or 4 years at that point. I'll never forget it, because I actually laughed about it. He did a movie our freshman year of high school, which was The Haunted Mansion. He didn't do another movie until our senior year in high school, which was Dreamgirls, and then he did that horrible Norbit movie. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Norbit was
Norbit. Yeah.
It was real bad.
Yeah, and then he's just kind of been in and out for the last 15 or so years. But God bless him. He tried with the Haunted Mansion, and it just didn't work. But now this one is definitely different. It's definitely darker, and its tone, it's a different shift than.
It's a dark humor.
Yeah.
Which I enjoy.
Right.
I like dark humor.
It was very reminiscent of maybe like a Shaun of the Dead type.
Yes.
Not that extreme, because obviously it's still a Disney movie.
It's also still to cater to kids a little bit.
That's right. But it's not. Yeah, but it's more comedic horror than just straight up fantasy, silly Disney movie. So, there's at times, if you didn't know that it was the Haunted Mansion, you'd forget it was a Disney movie.
So true.
Yeah,
so true.
You never forgotten the Eddie Murphy.
You would think it was a Shaun of the Dead kind of movie.
Right. You never forgotten the Eddie Murphy version.
No.
They made you remember.
Because there's also like
Down by the old mill stream.
Singing in the Eddie Murphy version.
Well, with the singing, this was kind of a disappointment for me. They didn't have the singing busts.
You left your key in a mausoleum.
You missed the singing busts.
Were they in the new one?
No. I mean, the busts were in there, yeah.
But not the singing ones.
Well, they were. So the
the ones that go,
We're gonna go about to socialize.
Why are you the way that you are?
They were in there, just in different parts of the mansion.
And they didn't sing.
They didn't sing. No. But
And that's yeah.
They weren't like outside the mansion.
And that was one of my favorite parts of the Eddie Murphy one and of the ride in general. Is you know, when they're, especially in the Eddie Murphy, because in the Eddie Murphy one, they're in the movie, they're like a singing like a barbershop quartet. Oh, you know, it was so funny, and I loved it. I loved it so much.
Dad, there it is.
Thanks for nothing.
I'm too tired for this.
but they didn't have them, and I guess the reason why is because they are too silly.
They're too silly. Yeah, they wouldn't fit.
They wouldn't have fit in this capacity, and so they decided, let's not do those. But I missed them. But yeah, see, I love those guys. But that brings up a good point. Like, I was like a checklist of like, all right, who did they get all the beloved characters from the ride in the movie? And sure enough, you had the hitchhiking ghosts. You had the frightened groundskeeper. You had the armor, the knight armor.
I'm a dumbass.
You had the floating candelabra. You had, of course, Madame Leota. Madame Leota plays a huge role in this movie.
Why wouldn't we have Madame Leota?
Not only is it a huge role, but played by an Academy Award-winning actress, Jamie Lee Curtis. So you had to go all in for that. And then, you know, it was just the checklist. And I was happy that all of that stuff got in there. And what I'm most happy about is the Hatbox Ghost. Did you enjoy the Hatbox Ghost, Miss Pengrino?
I did.
Played by Jared Leto.
Which didn't know until I looked into it.
You wouldn't know until you looked into it, because you never see him. And like, I thought at some point they would flashback and look at him in human form. They do flashback, and they do see a human form of him, but they never show his face. So like, Jared Leto is legitimately like, why would you even say he's in the movie? Why would you even say that? Because he is. Well, he is the voice of the Hatbox Ghost, but then they do this.
They turn his voice different so that he sounds like a monster. So you could literally put anybody in this role. You could put me in this role right now, and you wouldn't even have known.
But I would.
See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's ridiculous to have, like, you know, built it up as Jared Leto.
Probably pay way more money to have Jared Leto in there, for a position, a role. Thank you. I was like, what is the word?
It's fine.
A role that probably not really necessary.
Yeah,
I mean, the role itself was necessary.
Sure.
But like, that quality, not necessary for the role.
The whole thing was not necessary to have Jared Leto, because I thought there was going to be some point where he would turn human and you'd see Jared Leto.
Yeah.
It never happened. So you could literally have put anybody in that role. It wouldn't have mattered. But I am just glad that they had the Hatbox Ghost.
Yeah.
Little history of the Hatbox Ghost. And again, I want to point out, I'm very happy that he's in the movie, because he was a thing of legend for many, many, many years. There's an animatronic of him at the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland in California, and it was just announced that he is on his way to Orlando. There's going to be a Hatbox Ghost in the Haunted Mansion at Disney World as well. So I'm very excited about that, because Disneyland has had the Hatbox Ghost for like 8 years now, and so they're finally bringing him over here. But he's become a huge hit, and one of the reasons why is because he was like a thing of legend. Because for years, when the internet started to get really big, there were forums, Disney forums and Haunted Mansion forums, where people were asking, wasn't there a Hatbox Ghost character in the original Haunted Mansion ride at Disneyland? And there was like conflicting reports. And a lot of people were like, yes, some people said yes, some people said no. So it was up in the air, but it gained so much steam that Disney Imagineers eventually latched on and was reading the posts, and they confirmed, yes, there was a Hatbox Ghost in the Haunted Mansion when it opened at Disneyland in the mid-1960s. They even showed this picture of them working on the animatronic. The animatronic from back then is way creepier than the one they have now. But so,
I mean, I'm sure
it's terrifying looking. But so yeah, they confirmed that there was in fact a Hatbox Ghost. But the problem was they didn't really have the technology to do that transition, because the Hatbox Ghost, if you've never seen him before, his head starts on his body like normal, but he's holding a hat box, and all of a sudden his head vanishes and it shows up in the hat box that he's holding. They couldn't really do that back in the 60s.
Do it now.
Yeah, it was all, they tried to do it with all just like special lighting, like you would light up the face first and then it would go away and then try to light up the
box.
and it never worked. The Hatbox Ghost was literally there on opening day and then it was taken out. It was never seen again. But by 2015, they had the technology to do it. He's one of those animatronics that's a real animatronic body, but his faces are screens.
Yeah.
So you can just do that instantaneous swapping back and forth, and it's seamless, as they say. It's seamless. So the Hatbox Ghost has been in our lives now for almost a decade. He's become widely and hugely popular. So it only makes sense that he would be the main antagonist of this remake, of this
I mean, he's
reboot.
a perfect one to have.
He is. And I think it was confirmed once they put him back in the Haunted Mansion that he basically has been there the whole time because he is the ghost host. He is the voice. He is the dude that says, hello, greetings, foolish mortals. He is the guy that says that.
Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion.
But yeah, that was one of the reasons why I was so pumped for this movie, was the fact that they were bringing in a character that was widely deserving of this role of main antagonist of the film, and I loved it. I loved the way that they handled it.
Yeah. I kind of forget who the antagonist was in the first one, in the Eddie Murphy version.
So,
kind of Gracie, right?
No. Well, you think he's the bad guy, like the owner of the mansion. You think, because he's trying to steal Eddie Murphy's wife,
right?
Because she basically was his wife in a past life,
reincarnated. Mm-hmm.
And so he's trying to steal her. And the reason why, but it's all based on a lie, and the lie is told to him by his butler. The butler is the main antagonist, and Terrence Stamp, I believe, is the actor that played him in that movie. Terrence Stamp played the main antagonist of that film. It's one of those things you don't really know who the bad guy is until the very end, and
Gotcha.
it's revealed it's him. It's the butler. It's always the butler did it.
Butler
it's always
did it.
the butler, which was maybe another reason why that movie flopped so bad. It's like, really, you're gonna do a murder.
You're gonna do a butler.
You're gonna do a murder mystery, and the butler did it, because I think.
Although there was a murder mystery part in this one.
There was. I think the butler killed his wife in the past. I think that's where that comes from, if I remember correctly.
It's been a minute since I've seen that one, so I really don't know.
Because, not many people want to see it. We own it somewhere. It's down. Is it down? I don't remember where I put it, but we have it somewhere. Not here, because we're in a haunted mansion, not in our home. Not in the media. Not in the media room or anything.
Ah, you missed it right here.
Don't tell nobody.
We'll discuss the plot. You mentioned the murder mystery in the film. What happens?
Plot. The murder mystery part has no point to the plot.
It really doesn't.
I just mentioned it because it was in there. Plot of film. Okay.
Plot of film.
Plot of film. Here we go. This woman buys this haunted mansion. She wants to turn it into a bed and breakfast. It's just her and her son. They get there thinking, oh, it's just old, it's just creepy, but it'll be fine.
It's overrun by ghosts.
Step across the threshold and they are screwed. Mm-hmm. They're stuck in this house. They must return unless they can figure out how to fix it. So they are trapped here. They will always have to return because the ghost will haunt them wherever they go.
And the dude behind all of this is the Hatbox Ghost, because his plan is he killed a bunch of people.
He got messed up with dark magic because his dad was a butt, kicked him out, all this other stuff. He swore revenge on wealthy people like his dad.
People that wronged him in his
People
past,
that wronged him. They didn't really wrong him, but people who wronged him, so he got involved in black magic to help him do this. And so even though he was killed after killing people, he can come back if he collects 1,000 souls.
That's right, if he collects 1,000 souls, and that's where, famously, of course, the 999 ghosts that reside in the Haunted Mansion, there's always room for one more. And that's the goal, is he has to get 1,000 souls to come back to life, basically, and I guess be immortal at that point? But you're already immortal as a ghost?
I don't think it would be mortal. I think it would be like a vampire-ish type thing.
We're going to get into some plot holes, don't worry. There's a lot of issues in this movie, but before we get into dogging it, because that's exactly what I'm getting ready to do.
Oh, somebody kill me, please!
Uh-oh. I'm gonna sneeze.
Bless you.
I'm gonna sneeze. Grinning ghosts come out to socialize.
You're done. You're done.
The movie is a fun romp. It's so much more.
I loved it.
It's so much more fun than the original Haunted Mansion. It's not doing well at the box office. It's actually underperforming, and a lot of people are asking why didn't they release this at Halloween time? Because
that would have been smarter to do.
As I've stated, or maybe I didn't state, I can't remember now. It's been 20 minutes or so. I don't know where we are. But I said this is going to be kind of like our Halloween episode of Get Real, because I did, because I don't really know of any movies I want to see that are Halloween themed coming up in October.
No.
But so this is like the one right here, and it's like it's August. It's August now as we're recording this, so you know it's weird. Why didn't they release this around Halloween? It just would make so much more sense.
Well, it sucks too, because you know Barbie and Oppenheimer just came out, and then this is going to follow right behind it.
Why did they take that risk?
Yeah, you're.
Why did they think they could compete with? I mean, of course, granted, after we've seen the box office of Indiana Jones, even Mission Impossible has underperformed. When you looked at it in the grand scheme of things before the summer happened, like, why would you put this movie here? It's just not working. But then all movies have suffered a little bit this summer, so maybe it would have mattered. But
maybe if you didn't make them so long,
maybe I know
they wouldn't suffer.
I know. That's your biggest pet peeve. It's fine. It's all fine. But anyway, yeah, like it's had a lot of competition, but all movies are underperforming this summer, and I think this one would have done a lot better if it had come out at an appropriate time, which would have been Halloween. But I mean,
even could have done it like after Thanksgiving,
Christmas.
No, October, November. Why are we going? I'm going behind Halloween. It wouldn't have been so bad still.
For just $1 a day.
I'm tired.
You can help people like Miss Pengrino, who don't know when months happen.
Guys, I worked a 10-hour shift today. I'm exhausted. And we're doing this.
Give a call, won't you?
An unmitigated disaster.
So, it's fun. It's a fun movie to watch.
It is.
Plot holes. And now we're going to get into spoilers.
Plot hole your face, because you almost smacked me in the face.
Spoilers. We're going to get into some spoilers now, because there are some massive plot holes. First of all, one of the things that happens is, of course, Rosario Dawson and her son, they move into the mansion, like you said. Mm-hmm. They get spooked by ghosts and they try to leave, but they can't, because when somebody leaves the mansion after coming in, a ghost clings onto them, a hitchhiking ghost, gloms onto them and forces them to come back to the house. And then it fast forwards, and you find out that she's tried to call a priest to come in. Same thing happened to him. And then they try to call the main protagonist of the film, Ben, who's basically become like a paranormal expert, even though he doesn't. He's a
neuroscientist? No, rocket scientist.
Rocket scientist. But in the interim of the beginning of the movie, you find out that his wife has died, and that he has taken over her haunted tours. It's sort of a tribute to her.
Hates it though.
But he hates it. And one of the things he's done is he's built a camera that can take pictures of ghosts. And he reluctantly does it. He goes in and tries to take pictures. He gets glommed on by a ghost. He has to come back. And it just keeps happening. Tiffany Haddish's character, Danny DeVito's character, they all get glommed on by ghosts. It's just one right after the other, and they all end up having to stay in the mansion. Plot hole, though. Wouldn't it have been scarier, and wouldn't it have made more sense if they just couldn't leave ever? Here's the thing. Throughout the movie, they go out and have dinner at places. They go out and look for things. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Let me get my thought out. Let me get my thought out. They go out and do whatever they want. They go out and find clues. They go out and get the thing that can defeat the Hatbox Ghost. And then they come back. As long as they come back to the mansion, then nothing happens to them. Wouldn't it have made more sense for them to have to come to the mansion and then they're just trapped there. They cannot leave the haunted mansion. Wouldn't that have made more sense?
No, because the movie would have ended because they wouldn't have been able to go get anything or know what to do.
And this leads to the next plot hole of the film. The Hatbox Ghost haunts a mansion. Oh, and we should point out that, of course, the main haunted mansion in the movie is modeled after the one at Disneyland. Spoiler, they have to go to the Hatbox Ghost's mansion, which is like an hour away, not even in Louisiana. And when they get to it, it's modeled after the haunted mansion in Orlando.
Who said it wasn't in Louisiana?
There's a scene when they drive back and they pass a sign that says you're now entering Louisiana.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Bienvenue à Louisiane.
Exactly. Remember this place? The Hatbox Ghost haunts the haunted mansion, and all the ghosts are in it. You know, all the souls that he's taken away. But then at the end of the movie, they realize the only way you can destroy the Hatbox Ghost is if you have an item of his, and they do like a spiritual or like a seance-y type thing.
A banishment.
A banishment. That's what it is. To get rid of him. So they go to his house, which is an hour away, which is far away from the haunted mansion. And then they go in, and Winona Ryder she makes a cameo. She's the tour guide of that house.
That's who that was.
I told you in the theater. You didn't hear me.
I didn't.
It was Winona Ryder. Yeah. So she's the tour guide. But anyway, they split away and they find a secret compartment, and they very chillingly find the gravestones of all the people that the Hatbox Ghost has killed, as well as the Hatbox Ghost's head covered up by his top hat. Of course, his head is a skull at this point. But anyway, so they steal the hat and they come back to the mansion again because they're not trapped in the mansion. Wouldn't that have been the haunted mansion? The mansion that he lived in and killed all the people in? Because he killed all the people when he was alive at his house. All of them are buried under his house. His head is there at the house. Wouldn't it have made sense that his house would be the haunted mansion instead of the random one in Louisiana? Now, that's not random. It's not random because he grew up there.
Mm-hmm. It was his dad.
But he left.
True, but he came back and his dad mysteriously disappeared when he came back after he had done his black magic.
But then he killed everybody on his property.
True, but as I told you before, what could have happened, because he's dealing with black magic, is that when he killed his dad, he got bound to that location, and therefore all of the souls that he had killed also were bound to him.
You just have an answer for everything.
Yes, I do.
You're the Rich Evans of Get Real, of Superfuss Productions. I tell you what. It still doesn't make sense to me. I think that is a big, huge plot hole.
I mean, it is.
I mean, you dug deep, and that's how you explain it.
Right. And I'm okay with the explanation because I enjoyed the movie and I didn't want to think about plot holes.
And to the general audience, they might be fine with it too. But I looked at it and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Why? His home is far away from this mansion. Why wasn't his house the haunted mansion? Or why didn't all that stuff that took place at his house happen at the one that we were at? That would have also made more sense, getting back to what I was talking about before, that they were all trapped in there and they couldn't leave. That's where they could have found the clues, the secret compartments in the house that the Hatbox Ghost didn't think that they could find. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the whole thing is wasted in that point. So it's like there was no reason to go to another house, to another location. Everything should have happened at that location from beginning to end. The deaths, his death, and then them finding the bodies in the head and the hat and all of that.
They wanted both the Disney World and the Disneyland.
That's all I can.
So there you go.
That's all I can think of. That's the
Probably all it is.
That's the only excuse I can think of that they were doing, was they just wanted to incorporate both haunted mansions.
Well, they did.
No, they did it. Grim Ghost, come up to socialize.
Oh, stop it.
Flames, flames, flames.
So, Miss Pengrino, but overall, before I get to that, I did enjoy the film. Like I said, it's a fun romp. It is. It's a roll in the hay.
You're a romp.
Would you like to have a roll in the hay?
But it was enjoyable enough. Would you recommend the Haunted Mansion? Haunted Mansion.
Absolutely would recommend it. I got quite a few chuckles out of it. It was a little on the creepy side, not anything too terrible, which is great for me because I don't like creepy, don't do scary. So it was an enjoyable film for me. Quite enjoyable, to be honest. I absolutely loved it. So, of course I'm going to recommend it.
And there's one other thing.
Plot holes and all.
Oh, thank you. You! I will say though, there is one thing that they brought back from the last one, and that is the cowardly little boy.
Yeah.
They brought back cowardly little boy because there was the cowardly little boy in the first one, and he had to brave up, and I think he had to save his sister and his dad from like a mortuary, not a mortuary. What are the buildings that house dead bodies instead of underground?
Oh no.
Oh God, we're drawing a blank here. Oh God, what are those called? Yeah.
Yeah. Mausoleum.
Mausoleum.
There we go.
We got there. It took us a while. They get trapped in a mausoleum, and he has to save them by pulling a lever. But the lever is covered by spiders and scary bugs, and he has like a fear of spiders and bugs and stuff. But he has to do it. And in this film, you had the cowardly little boy, and he's just afraid of everything. But he's the one that fits down the hole to find the Hatbox Ghost's head and top hat. So he has to go do that. And there was, I will say, I gotta give it a lot of praise because although it got kind of dark, speaking of how dark it got, they talk about suicide in this movie a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the little boy, you find out it's at some point in the movie that his dad has asked him to come live with him, and he says he wants to, but he doesn't want to make his mom sad. And it should be pointed out that this little boy gets bullied. He's a bit of a nerd. He still plays with toys, and he's a bit of a nerdy kid, so he gets bullied.
Yeah.
And then he says he wants to go live with his dad. You find out later, spoiler alert, that his dad's dead. And the Hatbox Ghost is basically tricking him into thinking that he is his dad and talking to him and telling him to go live with him. And he wants to. So it kind of brings up the idea of unaliving yourself. Let's say that term. And
that is kind of sad.
It's like I said, it got dark, and then it got even darker by the fact that the Hatbox Ghost is trying to take the little boy's soul for to be his 1,000th
Right, because
soul.
his last one has to be willing.
Yeah,
and so if the little boy thought his dad wanting
yes.
him to come, he would be willing to go with his dad.
So it gets kind of dark there for a little bit. So I applaud them for kind of taking that step, but obviously it doesn't happen. The protagonist, convince him you're so much more, you're better than you think you are. Come back to us and all of that. So everything's fine.
Come back.
That was right on cue.
Oh, good for you.
So, but anyway, that was a very interesting message, and like I said, that's what makes it. That's what sets it apart from the other one, is that it's not very cartoony. It's more deals with real life. So, getting to my recommendation, I would cautiously recommend it. It's another one of those, maybe you wait for streaming. I don't know if you pay money to go see it. It's because it's good. It's not great. It's better than the other one, but it's still not on top of its game.
I loved it.
It was pretty good. So, yeah. So, do what you want, basically.
Do what you want.
The Haunted Mansion is a Haunted Mansion movie. It's good. It's fine. My recommendation, go ride the Haunted Mansion ride wherever you're located. If you're closer to Disney World, go to Disney World. If you're closer to Disneyland, go to Disneyland. So, ride the Haunted Mansion today. Well, Miss Pengrino, we got through that without having to deal with that horribly scary monster.
I know.
We made it through. I'm so shocked.
Yeah. Terrifying.
Yeah, I know. Well, I guess it's time to... Oh, no. Ugh! Ah, come on, we gotta go!
I'm frozen in fear!
Ah, come on! Hi, I'm working my way through college, and I go,